Somebody ready?
All right, we'll begin with the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We welcome everybody to the January 29th Marion County Commission meeting. We just have a short stretch of administrative business to take care of, and then we will move into employment interviews for the county EMS director position. So, Tina, if you'd like to start with the administrative items that we have laid out.
Okay, the first thing I have are the minutes of January 22nd.
Is there, the commission has had a chance to review the minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Gehring, second by Commissioner Crowfoot to approve the minutes of January 22nd. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed nay. Motion carried 4-0. Okay.
All right, in your packet, you have a draft letter of support for a grant application.
This constituent approached me. You can see the summary for Happy D Ranch. It's to the Kansas Department of Agriculture for cold storage. And the plan is to be able to provide fresh produce year-round to local grocery stores, local restaurants.
I move that we proceed with a letter of support to the Department of Agriculture.
Is this a little different than just somebody raising stuff out in their truck selling?
Yes, it would have to be permitted. And he's also designed his plan not to compete with others like York Produce. They do melons, pumpkins, those type of things. His are different. And York Produce is not year-round. His plan is to do greenhouse, so he can do lettuce, tomatoes, peppers, that type of thing.
I wasn't thinking of competition so much. I was thinking of more or less just, do we have to, I mean, this is just for a business? Is that what it's?
Yes.
Applying for a grant.
Yeah.
But try to provide, the idea is provide more security for your local food supply chain, healthy foods, year-round access, locally grown to support our grocery stores. That's what he approached me because we have our volunteer grocery store, and we would intend to carry his products if he's going, so it'd be a local business. Again, no cost to the county, simply a letter of support for his grant application, Kansas Department of Agriculture. If no further, then we have a motion from Commissioner Gehring to approve the draft letter of support.
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Crowfoot. Other discussion or questions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed nay. Motion carried 4-0.
Is this something we ask him to bless? And if he does,
Sure, I think so, and
add his
ask if he could
signature. I
read
think
the
I think
stamp.
it'd be better if all signatures are filled in.
Yep. You'll get it to him, or I'll get you his email.
I'll get a stamp.
Yeah. And hopefully we could use Kent's stamp. All right.
We do have one early check, and this was not in your packet. It is for the sales tax for the bait shop.
Amount of $238.29. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Dahlke, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Crowfoot. Questions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carried 4-0. find your spot.
I'm so used to being down there at the bottom.
The next thing I have are some refrigerator bids for Krista.
Hi, Krista. Welcome.
Well, today I'm coming to the commission for quotes for a refrigerator and see if we can purchase one. I do have it written into our immunization action plan supplemental for grant for a refrigerator. We will have new space for this refrigerator at the proposed building. I do not currently have space for it now, but our vaccine fridge is overflowing. We do not have room for all the vaccine that we are needing to contain, especially with the new RSV vaccine, the new COVID vaccines, all the demand for the shingles vaccine. So that's what I had written into the grant for this year. It is a grant that goes away at the end of June, and it has to do specifically with immunization and vaccines. The first quote and reason why I got on this agenda, I had started researching the refrigerators. I contacted the sales rep and the manufacturer of the one that we currently have at the health department that's been a good fridge. He said that they have a sale currently and it goes off on the 31st. So he sent the quote. And it's 40% off of their normal retail price. This fridge that we have currently, so it'd be a second one to go along with this, has a 7-year compressor warranty, a 2-year parts warranty, and a 1-year service warranty on the fridge. So the subtotal for this fridge is $4,549.20. And because of the compressor is why you don't generally would use just like a regular household fridge. They have a special compressor. If you open up the door, it keeps the vaccine that's in there still cooled, and the compressor kicks on. Yeah, they're not cheap, and that's 40% off. So the second fridge, I had gotten a quote off of just McKesson, which is one of our places that we purchase medical supplies through. And it's for $4,796.01. But and that one was a ABS laboratory refrigerator was the other brand, and the other one that we have currently is a Migali, MIGALI.
So the first one that you presented would match the existing one?
Yes.
So
yeah,
same parts, same
brand.
service.
Yeah.
They're windowed units.
They have a clear window so you can see what you're pulling. It's always nice for the nurse to see, just so you shorten the time that you're actually in the refrigerator. And they come with shelves. The other fridge that I presented, it has a 1-year parts and labor warranty and a 4-year compressor warranty. Compressor parts warranty.
To have one just like we have, so if they serve one, they'd serve both of them. Right.
Better warranty too. Right.
Yeah. This warranty on the initial one was 7-year compressor warranty.
Nice.
You have room for both your existing and your new
We
one?
will at the new location proposed, but we do not currently, so we would sit in storage until that building was completed. Of course, we'd like to unbox it or get it hooked up, make sure that everything's correct. When we get it, it probably would sit in my office, honestly, for the time being.
All right, any other questions for Krista? If not, I guess your recommendation is the first?
Yeah, and it's Migali. I don't know that I'm pronouncing that correctly, but that's Migali Scientific is that
The
brand.
total amount was how much?
For the fridge itself is $4,549.20, It does have a white glove inside delivery charge of $697, which is $5,246.20. That's with shipping and delivery.
Who delivers it?
It says white glove.
I know, but we're in Marion, Kansas.
Tina, did you have something to add?
Well, I mean, instead of having it sit in storage, can you order it and then just delay the delivery of it and set up?
I would have to
until
ask
later?
to be certain.
Because I think part of what they do is set it up, and so if it's not in its,
That's true.
like when we got that other refrigerator, we had to pay someone to move it.
Okay,
And after, so, I mean, you're gonna pay the delivery charge, and then you're probably gonna pay someone to move it. Like,
Right.
that delivery charge probably includes the setup and testing and all of that,
okay.
so.
Other
So
thing
we
is-
could go ahead and pay for it.
I will certainly ask on that to see if that's an option. The
Like if
grant,
they-
like I said, runs out at the end of June, so it does have to be
We need the invoice.
purchased.
Right.
Does the grant cover the total amount?
It does, yes.
All right, with that, I'd move to go with the recommendation.
We have a motion to proceed with the recommendation of the cooler purchase and the inquire to see if the delivery could be delayed until the space is ready. That works out. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Dalkey. Discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carried 4-0. Thank you.
I will ask on that and I will see you all on Wednesday for an update.
Okay. Sounds great.
Am I gonna have a copy of those?
Yes. You can have these, honestly, Tina, they're printed.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
The only other administrative item that I had was, and it may take more than 2 minutes or 3 minutes,
Okay.
was the discussion about rock hauling for Road and Bridge, because now they're in the midst of like extreme rock hauling, and
Right.
didn't know if there was interest in doing the paid overtime like you did for the snow removal for rock hauling. So that's what that's about.
I think we can go ahead with that. The action we took last week was for overtime for road and bridge employees, and that was everybody because of the section man, the blades. I mean, there are a lot of people going. I think Steve's request is for the ones doing the rock hauling, because they've been hauling on Saturdays. Was it rock hauling, was it all employees, or was it just,
I believe it was just because of the rock hauling.
Okay. did you, did shop?
I'm sorry?
Was shop included?
Well, if they're hauling, but I don't, so I didn't receive a request. This is just based off of the request you received, so I don't know the answer to that. Nothing has come through me, so.
You need to blade men too, wouldn't you? Smooth the rock out.
No, not necessarily, they don't, sometimes they do.
Yeah, it just depends on how good the truck driver is.
So maybe it
And then
sounds,
some of them are truck drivers, so
so do we need to put it on a different agenda?
I'm,
Needs to be approved before payday if you're gonna do it.
well, that's true.
And then,
No, because the pay period ended on the 20th. So
okay.
this would be affect
This
the
is-
next pay
this is
period, not the
February-
current.
February's pay period.
And then, no, that we did was based on the emergency declaration.
Not for overtime.
Okay. Just,
Well, that was in the motion. During that declared-
time.
It was during it. Okay, I stand corrected then. It was during just that
But I
way.
don't know what date you set though, was it?
It was the 9th through the 24th.
Sixth or something? Yeah.
So some of that does fall into that same period, but.
So I guess what Steve was asking for is now with the rock hauling, that's extending past the emergency declaration timeframe.
But I think he needs his mechanics and
Right.
graders too, because they gotta
Right.
keep the equipment running.
Right.
You need to ask, does the whole department,
So I think
Let's hold it till
put it on a different
Wednesday.
agenda, yeah.
Okay. Does that, because I think there's questions, whether it be the whole department or just specific.
Yeah.
I thought we tied something to the emergency.
You were correct. I was,
We wanna make sure we don't
It may
just
be-
make it up for this or make it up for that.
it's not a bad thing, huh?
it's just that the rock hauling isn't it, is the cleanup after the,
Right, it's still because of it, it's just,
still, right.
Okay.
All right, we will bring that up again on Wednesday. But that concludes the administrative.
Yes.
Okay. And we have 3 interviews, is that right, Tina?
Yes.
So should we go for 3 hours?
Well, I think,
What would you recommend? Should we go 2 hours, and then if we have to do an additional, we can do an additional?
well, no, I think doing 3 hours is fine. It's just I didn't know if you want to do a separate one with just your panel and then go in, or if you just want to go in for the full 3 hours and then just with different people coming in and out.
Do you recommend going for a separate one for 15 minutes for the panel and then start in with the candidates? Or just do it all?
It really doesn't matter.
Okay.
We didn't go through the approval of the agenda, did we?
All that was on the agenda was administrative and.
I was just gonna ask if we had a couple more executives at the end for,
No.
Since it's a special meeting, it would have to be pertaining to the topics that are on here.
Right.
no, it's not gonna fit.
Okay.
It'll have to be Wednesday.
Yeah.
Because this was targeted toward just the administrative items and then the
We
employment.
want executive session from 1 to 4 o'clock.
I'd say 12:47 until,
I would just go till 3:15.
okay.
3:15.
All right, I move that we recess into executive session in order to discuss employment interviews for EMS Director of Marion County pursuant to KSA 75-4319B. Item 1, personnel matters, non-elected personnel performance with the commission. Jim, and I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your last name.
That's okay, it's Van Scoik.
Dan Skoik. Thank you for being here and being part of the interview committee. Our Dr. Hodson is part of the interview committee, and our county clerk Tina,
And applicants.
and the 3 applicants. The time would be from 12:48 until 3 o'clock,
How about 3:15?
3:15. So that's approximately 3.5 hours.
Second.
2.5 hours. Second by Commissioner Gehring. All in favor say aye.
All right.
All opposed nay. Motion carried 4-0. We will be back at 3:15. Hey, Phyllis.
Okay, everything's on.
Mike Bennicke's ready to come in. Okay, we're on?
Yes.
All right, we are out of executive session, no decisions made. I'd like to go back in for 15 minutes. I move that we recess into executive session in order to discuss employment interviews for Marion County EMS Director pursuant to KSA 75-4319B. Number 1, personnel matters, non-elected personnel performance. With the commission, our 2 members of the interview committee and Tina for 15 minutes. 3:17 to 3:32.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gehring. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
All opposed nay. Motion carried 4-0. Back at 3:33.
Okay, you're on.
All right, we are out of executive session. No decisions made. No further business. Our next meeting will be the election canvass on January 31st at 8:30. Payday meeting to follow 9:30, and regular business after that. With that, I move to.
I have a question before we adjourn. I'm getting pressure about contract labor for the county. Have you had any feelings about that? Any knowledge of that, of the counties doing contract labor? I don't know all the rules yet of what they want to do, but I'm getting text messages right as we're speaking.
Well, I mean, we contract with vendors for many things, so.
Yeah, but this is like contract labor.
For a certain job,
Yeah, grader operators and things like that.
full-time then?
Well, I don't think.
I don't have any information, so I don't have an opinion on that.
Well, yeah, I mean, grader operators or we need to get in the areas and things that they're, if they live in the area, that something should be said about that. So I'm being approached by it, and I like the idea of it.
You don't wanna work full-time?
Okay, so there are certain requirements if you're gonna have somebody be a contract, like,
You gotta carry their own
there are
insurance.
certain requirements to be a contractor versus to be an employee. And that line can get very blurry, and you'd have to be very clear, and you'd have to have a contractual agreement. They would have to be in charge of their own schedule, their own equipment, their own work. You wouldn't have to potentially, you wouldn't be as closely directing the work of a contracted vendor. So there are certain things that you'd have to make sure that it meets that requirement to be actually considered contract labor versus an employee. Otherwise, you can get into a lot of trouble with the,
So, I mean,
for fair labor standards.
yeah, right. Well, that's why I'm asking, because, you know, I'd like to know how to answer these people, and, they're definitely interested in doing something. And it can help the county if it could be a cheaper way to operate. I'm
Well, it's
interested.
basically whether you're gonna hire a contractor or have an employee.
Okay. That it? Yep. Sheriff?
I needed an executive for about 5 minutes if we got time.
I don't believe we can do that today because it's a special meeting.
meeting.
And we had only certain things on the agenda.
Yeah,
We'll
I'll
do it
call each one of
Wednesday.
you individually.
We do it Wednesday.
I'll just call them individually.
Sorry about that.
I just want to give you guys a heads up on something.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And I move to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Garing. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.